An Indian firm, Adani Airports Holdings, submitted a proposal to Kenya Airports Authority to run Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, JKIA. The 30-year deal received opposition from the public that saw the Kenya Human Rights Commission, KHRC, and the Law Society of Kenya, LSK, challenge it in court. The High Court issued conservatory orders against the implementation of Adani Group's proposal to lease JKIA. Kenya Human Rights Commission, KHRC, and the Law Society of Kenya have secured a court order blocking the implementation of Adani Airports PLC's proposal to take over the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, JKIA. The Indian firm sought to lease JKIA in a public-private partnership aimed at expanding the airport infrastructure and run it for 30 years. On Monday, September 9, High Court Judge J. Chijiti granted the prayers of KHRC and LSK and leave to file a judicial review challenging the lease proposal. Justice Chijiti also issued conservatory orders prohibiting any person from implementing or acting on the Adani proposal over JKIA pending the conclusion of the court case. The application dated September 9, 2024 is hereby certified as urgent and the same is submitted for hearing during the court recess as Justice Chijiti directed. The court directed the petitioners to file and serve the substantive application within 3 days and the respondents, including Kenya Airports Authority and Adani Enterprises, and the interested parties to file and serve their respective responses within 5 days of service. The applicant shall thereafter file and serve its submissions within 3 days thereafter. The respondents and the interested parties shall thereafter file and serve their respective submissions within 3 days of service, read the court directions in part. The case will be mentioned on October 8, 2024, with a view to securing a judgment date. According to KHRC and LSK's petition, Adani pledged 238 billion Kenyan shillings to upgrade JKIA, an amount Kenya can raise without handing over control of the airport. The private firm issued its proposal to KA in March 2024, and the government approved relevant aviation policies in June, giving it the go-ahead on the planned expansion. Kenya Airport Workers Union, KAU, raised concerns over the deal, which led to a planned strike at JKIA. KAU lamented that the deal threatened job losses and offered taxpayers no value for money. According to the deal, Adani Group would retain an 18% equity stake in JKIA's operations, giving it a concession fee of 6 billion Kenyan shillings, with a 10% increase every 5 years.
Joining us, Flora Atieno is our sign language interpreter. Tonight, yet another government project has been thrown by the wayside by the courts for lack of transparency. The proposed deal to lease the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport to Indian firm Adani Holdings for 30 years has been halted by the High Court in a petition filed by the Law Society of Kenya and the Kenya Human Rights Commission. This latest contestation now puts in limbo the implementation of deals shrouded in mystery and that has sparked public outrage. Zainab Ismail begins our broadcast.
This ruling by the High Court has halted the implementation of the lease agreement in the midst of ongoing public debate and intense scrutiny over the proposed takeover of Jomo Kenyatta International Airport by India's Adani Group. The court has granted prayers of the Law Society of Kenya and the Kenya Human Rights Commission in seeking a judicial review of the deal, further halting any implementation or further action on the Adani proposal until the court has heard and decided on the matter. In their application, LSK and KHRC argue that the privatization deal would grant Adani control of the airport for 30 years at the burden of Kenyans. They assert that Kenya can independently raise the 238 billion Kenya shillings needed to expand the airport without leasing the national asset for that period of time. LSK and KHRC also argue that the deal threatens job losses, exposes the public disproportionately to fiscal risk, and offers no value for money to the taxpayer. The application further says that leasing a strategic and profitable national airport to a private entity is irrational under Article 47 of the Constitution and violates the principles of good governance, accountability, transparency, and prudent and responsible use of public money under Articles 10 and 201. Additionally, the petition argues that after the 30-year lease period, Adani will retain an 18% equity stake in JKIA's aeronautical business indefinitely, entitling the company to a concession fee starting at 6 billion shillings with a 10% increase every 5 years. An arrangement, they argue, violates Article 201C of the Constitution, which mandates that the benefits and burdens of resource use must be shared equitably across generations. But amid the piling pressure, the government continues to defend the deal on the refurbishment and expansion of JKIA, saying it presents an avenue to develop the airport. But it has sparked protests from different quarters, including the Kenya Aviation Workers Union members who are employed by the KAA. The court has set the matter for mention on the 8th of October 2024 with a view of securing a judgment date. The latest development once again throwing the proposed deal into disarray and risking the loss of billions of shillings into what yet remains a closely guarded contract. Zainab Ismail, NTV.
I have seen many people saying William Ruto wants to sell the airport.
Your Excellency, how can we sell our airports?
How do you sell a strategic national asset?
How can we take 14 airstrips and give them to an Indian company? Nobody knows the agreement and what has been signed.
You have to be insane.
What is it?
Am I a madman?
We have 5,000 employees with the Kenya Airports Authority and nobody knows where these people are going to go.
What we want to do in the airport is to work under the PPP program.
What is this Adani bringing to Kenya?
Public-private partnership has the potential to bring in private sector money, blended with public sector investment to be able to create an outcome that brings win-win.
Why is this that this government is keeping a secret?
We must have the right investment for the airport. The airport is a strategic government asset, national asset.
As a union, we requested for some documents. We were given a few documents. And our CS Labour promised last week to give us some documents, but we are not given.
I want to persuade us as Kenyans. Let us not buy into fake news. Let us not buy into propaganda.
After independence, it's over 60 years. Why should they sell our heritage at this moment?
There is no government that can sell a national asset, a strategic national asset like the airport.
Someone has a fishy motive to come and finish our country.
We are going to work in an open and transparent manner to make sure that we develop the airport using legal instruments that can be audited by Parliament and by other agencies to make sure that they bring value to the people of Kenya.
When you sell something to a foreigner, yet they are investors in our country, who can help in such modernization, it tells you there is something fishy.
We want to work with the private sector for them to do 3 things that are critical for our airport: to build a new terminal, to build a new runway, and to make sure that we refurbish what we have and remove the canvas.
That we have hand has a lot of problems down from their homeland, down from other countries where they have gone We are resisting undone in always, and we are telling Kenyans of all goodwill, the leaders in the political class, the legal fraternity, the Kenyan people, to come out and team up together with us as we say no to Adani. As we say no to Adani. Yes, this is the clear message. As the workers of the airport across the country, we will resist Adani with whatever it takes. The government should stop this, and they should announce to Kenyans that Adani should not take our airport.
What is this Adani bringing to Kenya? Why is this that this government is keeping a secret? As a union, we requested for some documents, we were given a few documents, and our CS Labour promised last week to give us some documents, but we are not given through our Secretary General. Why are we being taken in circles? This is the time Kenyans have to work up and we secure our heritage. If Adani wants to come, tumpatie Konsa City ama tumtafutie mahali hapa Mariakani, achenge airport yake hapo, to operate it from there, employ people there, he does his own things there. But he should leave us to our JKIA. I'll give you an example. Our airline at JKIA, it is the hub. If that hub is going to be taken by Adani, then our airline sustainability will be at the blink.
After all this time, after independence, it's over 60 years. Why should they sell our heritage at this moment?
The JKIA Adani deal received crazy uproar and backlash in India. Can you imagine? In India, family. Paka, the opposition leaders came out and they were like, yo, this is a bad deal for our country because it could even affect Indian-Kenyan relations. Of course, these guys are seeing these things trending globally. Adani has been trending globally because of Kenya. And they said that this would also put the lives of Indians living in Kenya at risk. It would put the businesses of Indians living in Kenya at risk because Kenyans obviously don't want it. It looks like somebody's listening to us. And the reason this is happening is because the Kenya delegation recently landed in India to quickly rubber stamp Adani. You know, the way they're trying to do everything chini ya maji. But where? Can you imagine?
Let me discount immediately that the airport, Jomo Kenyatta Airport, is not on sale. This is a public asset. It is a strategic asset. And if it was going to be sold, you can only do it after a full public process that Parliament endorses. So anybody who is giving the impression that the airport, Jomo Kenyatta Airport, has been sold is not being factual. It is not true. What we need to appreciate is that we will need to modernize our airport. And that means investment will have to take place at the airport. We need a new terminal. You remember there was a greenfield terminal, but it never took off. The contractual engagement had its challenges. There was litigation, it stalled, and the rest is history because it stalled in court. So what we know that is important is that going forward, the Kenya Airports Authority must look at its investment program very, very carefully, make sure that everything is transparent, so that during the expansion process of the second terminal, if it is under PPP arrangement, and that will let it be done properly, thoroughly, through the legal process, so that everybody knows what is going on. But I want to assure Kenyans that the Kenya Airports Authority is not up for sale.
Has blocked the leasing of JKIA to Adani as they wait for the case where the LSK and the Human Rights Commission have requested like a judicial review of the deal that is supposed to give the Kenya Airports Authority over to Adani. At least they're working. At least they're working. And we know that the judges and stuff are really being intimidated. But there's some relief. And LSK, I swear the lawyers are overdoing it. And Madam President, yo. But now, can you imagine the Adani manager or senior, whatever he was there? He was walking around JKIA Jana, even with all this craziness going on. And he received such a hostile reception from the staff that he even had to hide in the management's office. Why are they forcing issues?
Thank you. My name is Walter Ongeri. I'm the national chairman, Kenya Aviation Workers Union. One, we have some issues with this Adani. It is like they're hiding the crucial documents to us because we have requested. The minister is taking us in circles. It's taking us in circles. If you look at the evaluation report of 2020, which was forwarded to the Auditor General, JKIA only, it is worth 1.1 trillion. You have to mark that. Land, it is worth 906 billion. Then somebody here wants to invest 240 billion. Does it mean that a very profitable organization like KIA is not able to secure a loan of 240 billion? Then we have another query, because they had transactional advisors, which were ALG. We have not been told as to why their report, why they terminated their contract. What was their findings? Right now, they have a stipper and they call advocates. We are not told as to why they have been brought in. And as a union, KA is a landlord. We have a lot of tenants there. Not only KA, but this is an issue which is going to affect the aviation sector as a whole. Because if you check the aviation sector, what the Adani relied on, it is a report of Kenya Airways of 2018. They have not gone to the operators at the airport to give them the feasibility studies, what they have. But here, our members are being coerced. They are going to be coerced tomorrow to accept what they don't know. So I reiterate what my SGI said. Our members and the aviation fraternity, we are requesting you to desist from attending those meetings until all the documents are failed for public scrutiny. And as per the law, where is the gazettement? Because for public participation, it has to be gazetted. Have you seen the media? Because everybody has got an interest in that airport. That airport, right now, the way it serves directly 260,000 Kenyans. And when the Indian is going to come in, if you check those documents which are in the media, we don't know if true they are. The Indian is requesting to be given free to import, to be given visas to import Indians to Kenya. Is requesting to be given 30 acres. That's a document which is there. We don't know how to read this. To be given an area to build hotels and accommodation. What will happen with the Kenyans? When is going to export these Indians to work here for Kenyans? What will happen to Kenyans? Because as a concerned Kenyan and as a union, we are so much concerned. Why this process opaque? When they are considering with Ethiopia, Ethiopia gave out a virgin land, and the builders are the ones who are building a new airport from scratch, 25 kilometers from the city. It's not an operating airport. No, it's a new airport. Go to Rwanda. Rwanda, they signed the agreement with Qatar Airways. It's a new airport they are building. It's not an operating airport right now. If Kenya wants to have a new airport, we have Konsa City. They have to go to Konsa City. There's a space there. Let Adani go there, develop, do what, operate, but not the operating airport right now, which is more profitable. Those are the things Kenyans have to be told what's going on. It's a concern because our actions in the future, they are going to hurt the company, the country, not the country. If today Adani gets that title deed for KA, is going to ask for a loan of trillions. Who is going to pay for that time? When you are being told Adani doesn't see any feasibility or building another runway, unless after 30 years, that is after his tenure has expired. So what is he building? If you check the auditor's report, it is there, the public domain. Terminal 1A was built using 7 billion of a capacity, handling capacity of 2.5 million passengers. We have a parking garage, which carries 2,117 vehicles. It costed 1.8 billion. So what is this Adani going to bring in that the Kenya Airports Authority management has failed? Those are the questions as a government. They should tell us, they should tell Kenyans, not us as a union. That's what I can say.
If you found this video insightful, consider subscribing to our channel for more content like this. Don't forget to like, share, and comment below with your thoughts.